So welcome everybody. Today we have a very exciting project deep dive with visionary Solana and dystopians. Basic format is we are going to take turns, probably about 20-25 minutes each, to go over the project and basic facts such as the description of the project, the community, basic objectives, and the visions for the future. So without further ado, why don't we have the visionary team go first, since you're in the first order on my screen here. So question number one, for those who are not familiar with the project, could you give us a sort of a brief description? What are the core features?
So Visionary Studios is a Web3 project development company. We minted a Genesis collection back in March, which consists of 777 NFTs with art by Stuzer. Those NFTs go to holders of those NFTs will be benefited by pretty much every project and venture we go and put out from there. And what we plan on putting out and what we are putting out are projects that have, a real revenue structure or a real business attached to them. Because we really wanted to bring legitimacy to the space. And so, like for instance, one of the projects that's currently minting under our umbrella is called Hungry Robot Chicken Club. It's partnership between us and Sticky's Finger Joint, which is a fast food or a fast casual restaurant chain in New York City with 13 locations, most of them in Manhattan. And this will act as like a digital rewards pass for holders so that they could go get awesome rewards. Basically, right now it pays itself off in about 2-3 trips to Sticky's with the deals they've got going on. And yeah, so basically we're working on trying to bring some legitimacy to the space with the projects that we put out. I don't know if anybody else wants to add. TG3, Jasper are also members of the visionary team up here.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Just to build off what Jago was saying, looking at projects that have kind of IRL utility, IRL integrations, something that we definitely have an eye towards. A lot of vaporware in the space, and we really think that there, a missed opportunity here with these kind of existing IRL companies to kind of supplement their existing kind of business model and their business structure using kind of blockchain technology and using NFTs. So we're super excited to kind of push the envelope on what NFTs can and should be doing, and really kind of advancing the space and advancing the utility that these NFTs can bring. So.
And will all different collections under the visionary umbrella have a business that's different behind it? Are there any that are just going to be more like collectible art pieces?
Oh yeah, so we're definitely not going to be just straight limited to I guess projects that have kind of real world existing businesses behind them. Just by looking at some of the caliber of some of the artwork or some of the artists and the talent that we're working with, like for instance, Stuzor, he's like an incredible artist. He did the Genesis artwork, and he's also doing the artwork for In the Red Cape, which is a project we have coming up here. So we are definitely, we're going to be working with him to kind of get out some of his art forward and I guess art collector focused works. So yeah, we're definitely not just limited to that, but it's something that we feel like is a missed opportunity here in the space. So definitely looking to expand further in that direction.
No, I totally agree. Great that you're actually trying to put real world applications to the NFTs. We're kind of missing a lot of that in the space, so definitely fills a need. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was it, In the Red dress? I kind of saw some art from that on your guys' page, and it looks reminiscent of like Little Red Riding Hood, but like very interesting and mysterious.
Yeah, so Girl in the Red Cape is a project that we are working on right now. It's in post-production and should be coming out sometime, hopefully at the end of August. Basically, as you see, our Genesis NFT has some amazing art from Stuzer. And while we were looking at that art, we saw that there is definitely a story to be told. And we wanted to get together with Stuzer to tell that story. And this we got together with Lance Reddick, who is he's an actor who's in the John Wick and The Wire and some other famous shows and movies, and then Zack Stentz, who did the writing, and he did the writing for Thor and X-Men First Class and some other Hollywood movies. Basically, the trio of Lance, Zack, and Stuzer are putting together an art experience that basically has never really been seen before in NFTs. It's going to create a IP that we think has potential to, go places. From maybe a movie to a future video game. There's a lot of things that this IP could be built into. And basically, the project is going to consist of a drop that will reveal over 12 weeks or over 12 episodes. And each episode is about a 10-minute, you could say, film that is narrated by Lance Reddick, written by Zack Stentz, and takes you through a world built by Stuzer. And we really think that it's going to be a groundbreaking art experience here on Solana.
That sounds awesome. I look forward to seeing that, as I'm sure many others do.
Yeah, I'm sure Jasper would love to add in on that because he's really working hand in hand with Lance, Zack, and Stuzer to bring this one out.
Yeah, this was really kind of our first venture into exploring the possibilities for, creating IP in the Web3 space for visionary studios. We were lucky enough where the team of us, all 6 members, have, pretty incredible connections stemming from our previous professional lives in Web2, and in utilizing those, we were able to partner with that level of talent that Jago was just referencing. Partnering with Stuzor, who creates these unbelievable epic worlds within Unreal Engine 5. Very, very well-known, prominent artist over on Ethereum. He was, pretty captivated by the idea of taking the work that he had, been putting out, doing a render a day for almost 5 years, and finally attaching a story, not only a story, but really like an actual world building exercise with Zack Stentz, who Jago mentioned, Hollywood screenwriter. And it's kind of just taken on its own life and snowballed into, what we feel is really a level of quality of art and a cinematic experience that, really we're hoping can kind of establish a foothold not only in Web3 for developing IP and Film 3, but we in bringing Solana, to the map as far as the level of quality of art that can be seen on this blockchain.
And do you see this eventually becoming like a full feature-length film?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the beautiful things about this project is we are not a Hollywood production company. So for us, when we were able to get Zack and Stuzor together, we really just let them collaborate. And what that led to was a pretty amazing creative exercise for them, but also allowed us to, pursue this project in a sense that this story is going to be left with so many unopened doors and the potential for so much growth that if it were to get picked up, as a mini series or a feature film, it allows itself to be turned into something much larger. Another thing, Stuzor's vast gallery of characters, worlds, monuments, structures, figures, also lend themselves to, pursuing what is Hollywood's dream right now, which is the next new franchise. So the idea of crossing storylines between his different realms and worlds, things of that nature, it's kind of like nothing's off the table when it comes to this project.
And do you have like an idea of a platform or something you're going to launch this initial collection on, the visuals?
Yeah, so the visuals themselves are actually frames from the cinematic experience, which we found to be a really unique take on this. It's not as if you're minting like a movie ticket and then viewing this. You're actually going to be holding a frame from one of the worlds, which we thought was pretty amazing. You know, imagine having in your Phantom wallet a frame from a Christopher Nolan movie. You know, as far as platform, is that chain oriented? Because we are really, Jago will probably touch on this, chain agnostic, but we do have a pretty awesome website in development as far as how holders and viewers will experience this project. We've been working with a web designer to create what we hope will be a really immersive experience, where you feel, that you are within these worlds. And, Kyle, who is really one of the teammates that's been pursuing this as well. The dream for us is to have that option of, going into the girl in the red cape on an Oculus and being able to, in VR, walk through the worlds that Stuzor has built. So, yeah, we're kind of pursuing every angle we can right now.
So you're your own platform where people can go and view the experiences either.
Correct.
That's amazing. I mean, I think it's a really interesting piece that there's some sort of nostalgia of being able to hold a moment from that experience in your wallet. It just gets back sort of the appreciation of being live with something and taking part of it and holding that memory in your wallet, which I think is cool.
For sure. And to touch on that a little bit, I mean, like the cinematic experience, the art, like it's all top notch. And to go to accompany that, we have like a very interesting kind of gamified element. And, we understand we're in the NFT space and we've all been here for a little while. We know what consumers like, what they find interesting, kind of gamification elements, and maybe degenifying it a little bit. So we definitely have these, and without spilling too much alpha, I know Jasper dropped that Oculus alpha. That was a little alarm going off here. But the folks that we're working with here, like in our couple year long plan that we have for this, like we really have the potential to take it in almost across the board in all these different types of multimedia that you could expect to rise out of something like this. And we're super excited to kind of show the world this world that we've been working on.
Yeah, and when all is said and done, we will pretty much be sitting on a art experience that's between 1 to 2 hours long in a cinematic narrative story that can be taken to book mode, where it's going to be a 12-chapter book written by Zack Stentz. And the other great thing is Zack, even though he's been writing, for Marvel and, in these Hollywood movies, he really sees this as one of like a pivotal moment in his career where he almost has the freedom and control over his his creations, and he'll be able to take it to whatever level he has without the limits of some third-party studio. And the connections that he has back in Hollywood, I'm sure he's raving to them about what he's doing. And we definitely think that we'll be able to take this, not only just to film festivals right after, but maybe to some other places, pitch it and build it into something even bigger.
Yeah, man. I mean, I honestly love the vision, and it seems like you have like a lot of the right talent on your team to be able to execute on it. And while we're sort of on the subject of team, who else is on your team, and what are their kind of backgrounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, TG. You can take
No,
this
yeah,
one.
sure. Like, I mean, I'm TG3. I'm an attorney. I have a practice here in Brooklyn. I'm working with Visionary Studios here full time. And then Jago, everybody knows and loves Jago. Big guy in the space. Been around for a while. Super OG. Jasper, I'll let you introduce yourself here in a second. Kyle, like we said, Hollywood, big Hollywood guy. Been working in the Web3 space for a little while. Definitely. And as Jasper was saying, all of these, like all the groups that we've been working with really come from just organic connections and folks we've been working with in the past. So I'm definitely happy to leverage those existing connections. We got Nick, comes from a financial background. Nikki Solana, and we got B-Merv, who's an OG in the space too, been working with us for a little while. And Jasper, yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, and I come from an accounting background, but also entrepreneurial. Own a property management, asset management company, and have been doing that for about 10 years. But it really was, the six of us coming from all these different backgrounds, lent themselves to not only the natural connections and knowledge of, how to create a legitimate business within this space. But it just made sense. We were seeing what was going on, especially on Solana, and I think Jago touched on it. We wanted to, lend ourselves to bringing some legit.
And who was the original person who came up?
Can touch.
Go ahead. Sorry
about that.
Sorry, I
got rugged.
No, go ahead.
No, but we were just saying, not only bringing legitimacy to the space, but building and developing a project development company and studio that, touches on numerous verticals, whether media and entertainment, gaming, culinary, bringing Web3 into the restaurant spaces and small businesses, and kind of, I know it's cliche to say, but starting to bridge that gap from Web 2 to Web 3 as far as onboarding businesses and people that may not be familiar with the space.
And who was the original founder of Visionary, and what was sort of the inspiration for starting it, and how did you sort of connect with everybody?
So it was the six of us, and we basically have been in a group chat since the beginning days of minting monkeys back in early Solana days. But I don't know if Jasper said 5 of us, or actually 4 of us, have known each other for 15, 20 years. And we've been, friends through life, and we decided to finally get together and, create this venture. But so those 6 are the founders in the core team. But then, we have developers, we have mods, we have, community managers and stuff like that as well. Like we have a partnership with SoloFox, which is technically under the Visionary umbrella. They're a team of 23 when it comes to their game developers, graphic designers, marketplace dev, and stuff like that. So, yeah, the 6 of us are the core founders and creators of Visionary Studios.
And what would be, I guess you've talked about some of your short-term goals, but what are your general long-term objectives for the project? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 6 months or so?
Really, we want to be a vehicle for onboarding the masses into Solana through creative ways using Solana NFTs. For instance, with Hungry Robot Chicken Club, we've got 13 restaurants, like I said, 10 of them in Manhattan, advertising Solana NFTs in their business. They're getting foot traffic from, locals and random people throughout a city with 10 million people all walking through. They're a $50 million company with selling chicken just to New Yorkers. They get tons of foot traffic and just people who are not familiar with Solana NFTs who are now going to be exposed to it every time they want to go get their chicken fingers. And then, if they want to get awesome deals at their favorite chicken finger place, they're going to have to buy a Solana NFT. And the more we partner with companies like that, and the big part of Sticky's partnership itself is it's also a partnership with Lunchbox, who is their online ordering system. Lunchbox has about 100 other restaurants that are their clients, all basically fast casual chains with multiple locations that use their service for online ordering and are basically interested in just seeing if this is going to be successful, because if it is, there's going to be tons of other restaurants that are going to use Solana NFTs as basically like a gated rewards program for customers. And we think that doing stuff like this is going to really bring adoption and mass adoption to the space. And the more we partner out and bring in people, I think that the space is going to mature. There's going to be more utility for projects. There's going to be more legitimate businesses, and and maybe random 19-year-old kids won't be able to raise millions of dollars anymore because the money will be going to better places.
Let's hope so.
And
what
sorry, I
TJ.
just want to speak to Jago's point there. We think blockchain technology is revolutionary in itself, and we know that if we don't realize this technology, it might just fade into obscurity, and that's what has happened in the past, pretty consistently. So just trying to realize this technology, make it part of your existing lifestyle, and kind of supplement businesses and business structures, already existing models, kind of using this technology is, in our opinion, the first step to kind of introducing a larger audience into the space and kind of the concept of blockchain technology in general, and NFTs. And we think that in 6 months, to answer your question, we do feel like we will be kind of that premier onboarding vehicle to help these Web2 businesses and to help folks kind of get into the space.
Yeah, and to add on that, I mean, in the past 7-8 months of Solana NFTs, we feel like there's been so much rugs, so many scams, and there just really hasn't been too much legitimacy in space. And it's not a good thing when regulators are looking at that without any real use cases out there to go and counter that. They'll say, hey, this is just a tool for rugs, but no, it's also a tool for legitimate businesses to build a community, to give rewards to their customers and stuff like that. And if we build those real use cases out, I think it'll just be better for crypto overall when it comes to regulatory efforts.
And just to piggyback off that, one of the coolest things about growing and developing in this space is, Jago touched on how in working with Zack on Girl in the Red Cape, creatives are able to flex their muscles because we're not in a space where they're getting production notes and have to make edits and revisions. With the small business ventures like Stickies, for example, it's an extremely unique opportunity where a company can actually come into this space, do a promo that in standard Web 2 world, running promo codes and coupons is an expense allocation for a small business as far as getting it into print or, utilizing it web development. When doing it the way that we just did it with Stickies, not only are you growing like a loyal customer base, but you're also creating or turning an expense allocation into what is now an income generating revenue stream, which I think as word of mouth spreads about what can be done in this space, we will start seeing that mass adoption of small businesses when they realize the community it builds, but also how it can benefit their companies.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. And I really love that you guys have sort of taken the approach of, inviting new, existing businesses into the space, teaching them sort of the ropes and how to integrate Web3 into, what they're already doing to make it better, to grow their own community and, customer base, using Web3 as sort of a gateway. So, I mean, this is all super interesting to me. Elephant in the room, though, that we should address is, obviously we're in a bear market and that's impacted a lot of projects. What, if anything, has the bear market meant for you guys? Has it impacted your decision making? Any changes to the roadmap?
I would say the bear market is for building, and what we're doing is building through it. So there's really nothing we can do except for weapons or drive down and building.
Am I rugging or are you rugging? I think someone just rugged. Can you repeat what you just said one more time, Jago?
I think Jago has been rugged.
Sufficiently. But I heard more or less that bear markets are for building and you guys are planning to build right on through it. And
Yeah, there's really been no break since our mint back in March. I mean, as far as project development and continuing to build and grow in the space, obviously we've seen what the market's done with other mints. But really, I think I would speak for the team when I say that, the mints that that we have in post-production and pre-production right now, all, we say we want a ZAG, but all are a bit different than your standard PFPs. And we, like Jago was touching on, have just been kind of growing, developing these projects through this. The project Hungry Robot Chicken, it's minting out really wasn't a priority, because was a sense of, we want to onboard actual Stickies customers. When, like Jago said, when you walk into a Stickies, on their menu you see a QR code to scan with Crossmint that can actually mint your first NFT. So we found it to be a unique mint in the sense that, this really is an awesome opportunity to bring in people that have never minted an NFT before. And the fact that, those are still available makes that a possibility. So it's certainly been an interesting time, but we're just, going to keep on grinding and building.
Love it. Bet on builders in a bear market. Message of the day. Okay. We're going to move on now to Mystopians, so we can learn a little bit what they're doing, but we're going to come back around for everyone for a little bit of Q&A at the end. So stay tuned, visionary guys. So now I'd like, take 10, 15 minutes here to open up any questions for the audience. Please request speaker if you're interested in asking either a visionary or Mystopians a question about their project. And while we're waiting for requests to come in, I'm going to ask questions that apply to both of you. So maybe visionary answers first and then Mystopians. Question number one, where do you see the future of NFTs and how does your project fit into that future?
See the future of any NFTs everywhere. I think they're going to be really built into the framework of society in ways that right now people haven't even thought up yet. And I think when all is said and done, people probably won't be calling them NFTs, and people might not even realize what they're using, but they're using NFTs. And that's kind of really what we're focused on, is bringing across mass adoption in a way that brings in, people who are not crypto native and teaching them how to use NFTs in a way they're used to doing things, like using a coupon, for instance, and now they're using an NFT to get that deal. So yeah, so we're really trying to bring across mass adoption, and we really see NFTs, taking over the world.
Yeah, for sure. And to that point, exactly, like really see not only existing kind of companies and entities integrating blockchain technology and NFTs into their framework, into their existing business model, but also like seeing a lot of these like legacy processes that are flawed because there's trust involved in the system, like kind of seeing NFTs and blockchain technology replacing those, and that's I won't dive too deep into it, but like, I mean, the first time I even heard about NFTs was in 2017 or 2018, and it was about recording land sale contracts in Liberia. Like, not at all what the current meta is, but something that is like an incredible use of the technology. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more of these kind of practical uses spring up.
And as far as where I think we see ourselves as visionary and how we fit into that in the future, we've already begun that process of hitting those different verticals, media and entertainment, industry-related, food-related, utilities, gaming, collectibles, sports and collectibles, music. So I think when we look in the future, we hope that we are that company that people are referencing to other businesses as, this is who got me into the space in a culturally compliant way, in an educated way, and that's what I personally see as far as visionary, in the future of NFTs.
Mystopian? What's your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing about people not really knowing that they're using NFTs. I had one of my friends asking me recently, you know, what NFTs are, and I kind of tried to explain, but you know, it's quite difficult to explain exactly what they do because they do so many things. And then she just sort of said to me, "Yeah, I don't think I'll be using them." And I thought, you will, but you just won't know you're using them. You'll go to a gig and you'll get your phone out to get entry to the gig, and you won't know that there's an NFT involved in that transaction, for example. So I think that's on the one side of things, everything's going to balloon, and we're going to see NFTs used for so many different things. But the current use case, I don't think is going to go away, which is that you know, there are a few people that buy NFTs for the art. I've certainly bought a few NFTs just because I really like the look of them. But actually, more and more, it's about holding a membership to a community of some kind. There's no way, you know, unless you're getting sort of secondary revenue or you're getting some kind of kickback from owning it, like you know, you get an NFT for a launch pad and you're getting a percentage of profits or something. If you're not doing that, then why would you spend so much money on an NFT? Why would you spend, you know, what is a DGOD worth, like $4,000 or something? Why would you spend that? And actually, it's to get access to an exclusive club, and I don't think that's going to go away. All the other uses are going to grow up around it, and I think we'll still have a part in that if we're building tools to help those communities. That's why we're banking on this idea, because we don't think that part of it's going to go away.
And so sort of speaking towards the invisibility of NFTs and the fact that we have so many different chains and things going on where there is NFT activity, you know, do you all see sort of a world where, you know, there's one dominant chain, or are we going to live in a multi-chain world? And like, how are you sort of preparing your project for both of those potential realities? Visionary, go ahead.
Yeah, so we think the future's multi-chain for sure. We're blockchain agnostic. We're here on Solana because right now it's one of the best options. It's got you know, really fast settlements and very cheap settlements, and you can do a lot of things on it in an efficient way. But that being said, we are, you know, right now producing projects that won't be launched on Solana. So yeah, we definitely think the future is multi-chain, and I think the companies and the people that find ways to bridge chains are going to be you know, really a crucial part of the future. And yeah, so we're blockchain agnostic for sure, but right now for sure we're a big fan of Solana.
And to that point, you know, 10, 20 years from now, I don't think that we're going to even really care what chain these NFTs were minted on, more so about the NFT itself, just because there's going to be high levels of interoperability between the major L1s. At least that's how I feel. And then, you know, with regards to us like selecting chains or to release projects on, yeah, like Jago was saying, we do really look at, you know, the high transaction speed, low cost benefits that Solana has, and that's really beneficial for things like ticketing and going to a restaurant and like kind of scanning, and you're doing wallet verification. You don't have to wait 10 minutes for it to kick back and tell you whether or not you have like this holding in your wallet, and whether or not you're able to kind of redeem that utility IRL. And this, like, the strides that Solana is making, like Chicken Robotics, this is going to be an excellent XNFT app for the Solana phone when that comes out, right? And we're excited to work with that. We see the Cupcake folks and what they're doing kind of with the near field communication tags and being able to weave that into clothing and cards and everything. Solana is really making excellent strides in building that bridge like we were talking about. But at the same time, can't knock, like, you know, I definitely hold a bunch of Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to be like the banking transaction layer, just because it has a little bit increased security, but in compared to Solana. But yeah, like Jacob was saying, multi-chain for sure. And you know, each of these major L1s kind of has their own strengths and weaknesses. So definitely leveraging those for the time being.
Dystopians, any thoughts on multi-chain future and how you fit into it?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. The future is multi-chain, but I don't think, again, I think it's going to sort of, the differences are going to go away, and people won't necessarily know what chain they're using. I think we're not gonna see people that are like rallying around one particular, like fanboys of one chain or another. I think most tools eventually will become multi-chain, and then the chains themselves, L1s, L2s, they just become a commodity. If you run a blockchain, people will either use it or they'll use another one under the hood. So the product they're using, they probably don't know which chain it's using under the hood, but they'll just use whichever one's cheapest, whichever one's fastest. And things like the Third Web, our website, will eventually become multi-chain. We're Solana only at the moment because it's quite difficult to build a lot of the tools that we've built for different blockchains, because every blockchain works differently and every wallet works differently. But eventually those differences will go away, and I think we're already seeing software development companies making sort of back-end tools that will allow us to go multi-chain, because we'll be able to make requests to get data and we won't even know what chain it's coming from. We're already seeing those kind of things being made. So in the future, I think it will be far easier for us to support every chain, ETH, NEAR, whatever comes next. So yeah, at the moment, definitely Solana only, but I think in the future, everything's going to be multi-chain.
Okay, and one last question now for the both of you. What is something you want listeners here to know today that we haven't already talked about, specific to your project? Visionary, why don't you go first?
Yeah, you want to go, Jago?
All you, Jasper.
No, so I was just, for those that are not familiar, we are not a project that is really like a one-lane project. We, as a project development studio, we are trying to incorporate and really bridge that Web3 gap in all verticals. I've mentioned it a couple times, but we have a partnership lounge now with 8 to 10 well-regarded projects. Solo Fox, an awesome 2D game. We have Collectors Club, Sports Collectibles, Hungry Robot Chicken Club with Stickies, Girl in the Red Cape, as we touched on earlier with Zack Stentz, Stuzor, and Lance Reddick. We are just, really pushing the limit on how we can, grow this space, grow our brand. One of the things I just wanted to touch on was all of the projects and partnerships that we've developed in the last 4 to 5 months have really blossomed from previous connections. And with that come a level of validation and trust with the people that we are working with. So, one of the things that we strive for is not only legitimacy, but providing an end product that we know when we deliver to the holders, if they see that visionary stamp, that visionary eyeball, they know that they can trust that product. They know that that project, has a team behind it that is building for the future. We plan on being here 5-10 years from now. So that's really, the gist of it for me.
For sure. And if you got an existing business that you think can be supplemented using blockchain technology and NFTs, you hit me up. All right.
His name is TG3.
So I'm going to start a business to hit you up. That was enticing. Jago, any last words on that before I move on to Mr.
I think they covered it pretty well, but I really appreciate the platform. So thanks for having us here, and I'm sure we'll be back with some more projects in the future.
I look forward to learning more about what you guys are up to. Mistopians, any last minute words from you? Things you want people to know about your project?
Not much really, but I think I did touch on the art earlier and the amount of work that we've put into the art, which I think if you come to our Twitter, click on my click on my profile and jump into the Twitter and the Discord, you will be able to see some of that artwork. And what you won't be able to see, which I wish I could show you, is the fact that a lot of the artwork is generative. Like, we've got these sort of generative backgrounds where it's not a single background layer. There's actually a few different layers to the background. So even if you get like a cityscape background, it can be a different cityscape for each for each NFT that has that city. So we've got like this sort of future Tokyo city, but there's so many different versions of it, and I wish I could show that to people, but when you do a sneak peek with a single image, you just can't show that. But yeah, there's not much else that I'd like people to know. We do this thing in our Discord where everybody that comes in from an AMA and joins our Discord and posts a picture of a donut gets a free whitelist space. So anyone that's listening, if you hop into our Discord now and just post a GIF or a photo of a donut, we'll give you a whitelist space. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, from me.
All right, I'm like running to your Discord now and like finding images of donuts. So
it just entertains me to have loads of people posting donuts every time I do an AMA.
You know, I love it. I love it. So okay, thank you all so much for coming and taking the time to talk about your project and listen to me banter on. So hope to hear from you all soon, and looking forward to seeing you guys grow.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
If you need any
Thanks,
donuts, be sure to check out the Foodie Friends collection.
Yeah, bye, Foodie Friends. This space will be recorded in case anybody missed anything, so you know, make sure to check it out. Don't miss any details. Have a good day, everybody.